Welcome to the Sew Along 2018 again. We're doing block number 11 this time. So I've gone ahead and I've made my sample, which is here on the board. And I'm just going to run through how I've gone about that block for you. This quilt is coming together. To be at block 11 out of 25 is pretty amazing. That means we're getting on really well. Plus we're already doing some of the alternate blocks in the background. So this quilt is going to happen. So if you've bought the pattern from GourmetQuilter.com for the Sew Along 2018, you will have your own version of the pattern that you've downloaded. And I'm going to just go through now. It's got some measurements on the pattern for you to do your cutting. We're making 2 blocks each time. So I've gone ahead and cut my pieces out already. I need something that's a center square because that's going to be what ends up being in the middle of the block there, and then we need some other squares that the notes tell us, because they're going to be going on as little corners around that square. So that probably doesn't look great to you at the moment. It's going to look great very shortly. And then we need some other squares for the outside of the block. So the pattern will tell you all the sizes to cut. I've already cut mine out here. However, the next thing we need to do, we've got our center square and we're going to put some corners on that. So I've got my colour here, these nice red ones in this case, that I'm going to do. So we need to start off by marking a diagonal line on the back of those. So we've done all this before. Pop your ruler so that it goes through the 2 opposite corners and draw a line diagonally across there. Now I've actually already marked mine. So the next step is to pop those onto the center square, and we're going to stitch right along that line that we've just drawn. So we can actually do 2 at a time. We can do the 2 opposite ones, and then I would suggest that you trim off the corner that we don't need and press them, and then put the other 2 on, because then everything is sitting nicely ready for that. So I'm going to go to the sewing machine and do that. So just sew on that line, and then I'm going to flip that around and sew on the next one. That was pretty straightforward. I'm going to just trim those corners off now because we don't really need them to be there. So we take away the outside corner, so I'm going to lay my ruler with the 1/4 inch marking right on top of the stitching line and just trim off so that there's a 1/4 inch seam allowance left there. And do the same with the opposite one. And then I'm going to bring the iron over, whoops, and press those. So I'm going to press that seam out towards the triangle and turn it around and do the same thing on the opposite one. And now I'm ready to go ahead and put the next 2 triangles on in exactly the same manner. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then I'll come back and show you how to do the surrounds of the block. Pop my triangles on, looking good so far. Now we've got to make the squares that sit around that centre bit. So we're joining up pairs of squares. So I've got them already paired here. So I'm going to go ahead and join those. Now we can chain piece these. We need to have 4 little pairs, 1 for each side of the block. So I'm going to just feed those through. And then we can press these, but also 2 of the pairs can have a little white or background square attached as well, because 2 sides will go on first, and then we kind of treat them like a top and a bottom for the other 2. So we're going to pop these on the sides, but because we've got some corner squares to go on as well, we've got the background squares already here. I'm going to go ahead and attach those now so that they're all ready to put on afterwards. So I've gone ahead and joined my little squares. I've got 2 pairs and then 2 pairs that have got a background corner on them as well. So when I press the seams with the background corner, I'm going to press those ones in towards the square. The one in the middle can just go as normal, but turn that around and press that in. That's because I think it's going to sit better when we've put the other pieces on to the block. So into the square. So now we've got our pieces ready here. We can put the pieces on the sides and have them ready to go top and bottom as well. Now I've positioned mine so that the same fabric is kind of in the same position all the way around the block. Of course, you may do it how you like to. So I'm going to go ahead and put the 2 sides on first and then press that, and then I'm going to put the top and the bottom on as well. So here I am, just coming up the last little bit. I'm nestling my little seams here. And this block is just about done. How exciting is that? So I'm just going to press that. So I'm going to press that seam out to the outside. And I think that's looking pretty good. So that's block 11 done. So if we put it up near this one, we can see that we've now got 2 of those very delicious blocks of number 11, and we'll see you back again for block number 12. Thanks very much.